Swanee River, far, far away. That's where my heart is yearning ever, home where the old folks stay.
Welcome to Florida Mint on Florida Man with Greg, Wayne, Josh, and Cameron, the podcast where Floridians discuss the legends, lore, and crazy stories that always seem to take place in Florida.
The Sunshine State.
Yeah.
Beautiful state.
We've been getting a lot of responses to our request to date Joshua.
I mean, we didn't put out a request to date me. They've just been
If you're interested, let us know if you want to be a part of his life.
probably not an option.
It's weird that they're coming directly to Wayne and I, though.
Yeah. Not
Nobody's
to Josh.
sending
They're
them to Josh.
bypassing me
Yeah.
completely.
In all seriousness, about 70% of the requests are coming from married women.
Which kind
It's
of
a trend.
bothers me.
How would you explain that, though? Why is it that married women are taking a liking to you?
I mean, I have that look of someone you want to cheat with,
Yeah,
but not be seen with often.
sure.
Not be seen with, yeah.
You know my life motto. I don't barbecue on another man's grill. I just don't do it.
Like Botto?
That's his life motto.
Yeah.
He's got it tattooed on his lower back.
Yeah.
I don't barbecue on another man's grill.
Yeah,
That's why when I go to the park, I can't even use that grill that's already there.
that's right. Speaking of which, headlines.
Headlines.
Okay, headlines.
Headlines.
All right, so Josh, if you went fishing
Oof.
this weekend, if you were going to go fishing, what would you use to catch a fish? What would you use bait-wise?
What would I use bait-wise to catch a fish? Beef jerky,
Beef
probably.
jerky is good.
Because I want something that's going to tempt them. Like, I've never had this before.
Uh-huh.
What's this exotic meat? Is that teriyaki? Question mark.
Question mark, yeah.
Because teriyaki is a
It's
sweet flavor.
sweet, salty, bold.
It's getting it on the hook and getting it to stay on the hook. I think it's where I'm going to find my problem. Maybe
And
a
then-
Slim Jim spicy.
So this Florida man decided he wasn't getting any bites. They were out fishing for snook.
Not using Slim Jim spices.
Wasn't getting any bites, so he put what he refers to as the state's food. Okay, the state of Florida
I
is
can
like
guess.
the state food.
Our official food.
Yes,
What
our
do you
official
guess?
food.
Our official food?
Yeah.
I know what the official food is.
Go for it.
Panther meat.
Panther meat. That's
That's
why it's
pretty
so
close.
rare. I was
Yes.
thinking meth.
Meth.
Yeah.
That's a good option too. He used Publix fried chicken.
Oh, my
Come
gosh.
on.
They hadn't caught a fish in this area. No, but there was a lot of fishermen out. They couldn't catch anything in this particular area.
Right.
10 seconds in,
No.
catches something off of Publix fried chicken.
Come on. Of course he
Wow.
did.
So he's on just a different level.
This sounds like a plug for Publix, like fake story.
Our sponsor today.
Come on.
Publix fried chicken.
Man, I wish. So I have a question for Wayne.
Okay, thank you.
Got him.
If you know anything about Wayne,
Yep.
he loves wrestling.
I do.
He does. Every
loves
time
it.
we see him, you want to wrestle?
Well, and not
Every
just
time.
Don't
not
wanna
just-
wrestle.
Not just wrestling. Man to man. I like watching wrestling.
Yes.
Loves it.
It's real.
But
We
when
know.
you go train, where do you usually train for your wrestling?
The flea market.
Okay.
This is a true story.
So in, in Tampa,
We did go.
there is a nondescript warehouse and, and a big field of warehouses,
Okay.
warehouse field, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, I love a good warehouse.
And
field.
nothing's marked.
Okay.
There's one garage, roll up door. And inside this small little warehouse is a wrestling training gym.
Come on.
Good.
that you can go to in Tampa.
Yeah.
And get trained for wrestling. So
Right.
it's not on the WWE
No.
network necessarily. It's not on that level.
Right.
But they were these people that go to this gym in Tampa. They were getting ready for WrestleMania.
Oh, my God.
Come on.
Didn't happen. It was supposed to happen in Tampa this year.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I cried.
I know you did.
But this Florida man, He owns this gym. He's been wrestling and teaching students for 18 years.
Still called a gym?
He's got
If it's
10
in a
students on this
warehouse.
day that this person was there. But yeah, still
Okay.
gym.
I don't know.
It's called Tampa Bay Pro Wrestling's Lethal Academy.
Come on.
Well, I don't want anything lethal.
No.
Well, the guy's name is Jay Lethal.
Good
Hey,
God.
lethal.
Okay, well then that makes sense. I mean, if it's his name, I thought it was like a threat.
I bet he's
You
stacked.
could die here.
Yeah, you definitely could.
Okay.
It's lethal.
Yeah.
But anyways, the in a couple of weeks we're gonna see Wayne there. Some footage of Wayne.
Come on.
Heck
training and getting ready for.
On that-
so
on-
that's the real Florida Man.
That's
headline.
a great story. On that note, actually, what's it? Fred Durst and that band.
Yeah, Limp Bizkit.
Their DJ was DJ Lethal. Did y'all know that?
Was it really? The fact that you know that says a lot about your music taste.
So our last one, real quick here. There's been tons and tons and tons of headlines for Florida Man about coronavirus.
Sure.
Like that's all I can
Smurfest.
find when I'm looking. You
Does
know,
it exist?
Yeah, we're on the level where the news they just send it directly to us now.
Yeah, New York Times, they get a story.
Yeah.
They text
If
Cameron.
it's anything about
Heat.
Florida, I get the text.
New York Times,
Southwind.
they have all their investigators working on it. They go, hey, there's this warehouse out there.
Yeah, exactly.
A sea of warehouses.
Do you want the scoop, or can we publish it?
I've
in our
been doing
newspaper?
everything I can to avoid coronavirus.
Good man.
Sure.
Just because it's everywhere.
Right.
I couldn't. I couldn't not talk about this one.
Amen.
Okay, let's
I
do it.
had to choose this one. So, Florida man David White was arrested after using a weapon of mass destruction on different businesses in Jacksonville. Basically, he took a spray can.
Oh goodness.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
and labeled it COVID-19
Okay.
and sprayed it all over the doors and entrances of Jacksonville businesses downtown.
Who is the dum dum that's falling for this?
I don't
Every
know.
Jacksonville business.
Everybody in Jacksonville. At
He's
least the
got it in a
police.
can.
The fact that it's called a weapon of mass destruction,
Good God.
like that's what he was arrested for.
I think
His charges.
I think the phrasing is because I actually saw a couple weeks back they were saying if you were intentionally transferring the virus, you were going to have the same charges as like a terrorist.
yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I've
probably
seen
is,
quite a few of
is,
those.
is what is
But
going on there.
literally, it's a spray can, like a squirt water can, and he just
that
put
makes it more believable.
like a label on it that said
And
COVID-19.
was he
duct tape.
did he test positive?
I don't think they got that far. I don't think if you get arrested for this, they just assume. You know, if you have a bottle of it,
And you're spraying it on
if
people.
you're spraying it
True.
on people, they just assume that
You're
you
not a
have it.
patriot.
No, Lord,
Yeah,
no.
You're positive. You're positive for something.
Anti-patriotism.
So, anyways, don't spray things on people.
I think as far as the shame
Don't
corner,
spray things on people.
Shame corner is concerned, if we're going to put somebody there, it's that guy.
Yeah, but I think we should put him in one of the corners of the Lethal Academy, and
God bless.
they can just use him as
As
practice.
a
Academy.
test dummy.
Yeah.
Jay Lethal, shout out.
Let's
You gonna
go,
wrestle
baby.
Wayne.
Oh, I take him down.
I know you would. Scary. Hey, fellas.
Hey, Josh.
Hello.
So I got this beautiful letter from our good listener, Shamos von Lickerstein.
Okay.
That's
Our
what we
one good
named
one.
him. He didn't want to use his real name.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. No, I get it.
He got in an at-fault accident, a fender bender.
Okay.
He's feeling pretty down on his dumps.
Yeah.
That's a bad day.
It is
Yeah.
a bad day. It carries because you still have to go to work and you come out and you go, oh, woof.
I'm down on my dumps.
I'm down on my dumps.
Yeah.
So he's like, I bet y'all have some funny car stories to make me feel better about my own
About car stories?
car, CAR.
Funny ones though.
Yeah. And you can spell that so you like
Do
it.
we sound like we have cars that are funny?
Well, I there's some old stories about you having a stuffed animal glued to your car
I did. That happened to
by
me.
a patriot.
That happened to me.
And I know Cam's got some funny car stories.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll start this one off.
Okay. Let's go.
So it was my first car, a good car, nice car.
What was it?
It was a 99 Mitsubishi Galant
Okay. When'd you get it?
when I was 18 because
So what year
insurance
was
rates
that?
are more who knows, 1976.
But I'm saying, was it a new car?
No.
Okay.
No. But I guess insurance, it's more expensive if you're 16, but not if you're 18.
Right.
So I get it when I'm 18, and it's about 5 years after I get it. It's like suddenly it had been in a flood, but without any water damage. Everything electrical just started going like insane. There was this one fuse that was like 2 inches long, and it went bad, but I didn't have the $110 to replace it. So I shoved like 2 pennies down in it, and that worked.
Yeah.
Until I sold it. But
Till it blows up.
Wait, it really worked?
Yeah, it really worked.
Yeah.
Huh.
But the biggest problem was the lights went bright one day, and then they, no matter what I did to the knob, they would not turn off. So brights during day, brights during night, kept getting flashed. I even had like, you know, when you pass a cop and then they put their lights on, say something you were doing is wrong. Mm-hmm. So had that happen a couple times. I'm like, geez, you know, sorry. So finally, I decide I'm a smart guy. I can remedy this.
Your lights are always bright.
Always bright.
Which you're one of the guys that most people hate.
Yeah.
When you're driving on the road and all of a sudden it's just bright and then they flash you like,
those
come on,
freaking
dude,
floodlights.
I try to keep a distance from people, but you know,
drive off the road to avoid.
I try
close
to. I'm
people.
very considerate.
Yeah.
And luckily the Galant could handle off-road capability very well. So I needed a fix for this pretty quick.
Yeah.
So I decided the best thing to dim these lights would be to use the tools I have.
Okay.
And I had soccer socks.
Okay.
Soccer socks.
Soccer socks. They're nice and long.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I can dim these headlights by taping soccer socks
That
over
was
the
your first thought?
headlights.
Tape socks to your car?
You were smart enough
Honestly-
to fix a fuse with pennies,
Yeah, it was probably another fuse.
but your solution for the headlights was to give them eyelids.
Honestly, I have no idea why I thought this was a good
what if
idea.
you just took the bright lights out?
No, it was a single bulb,
Okay.
but they went
But the
bright one
setting
day.
was stuck on bright.
Stuck on bright. So I decided take this masking tape that's obviously like fogged,
Yes.
you know.
You're
that
on a
you-
different level.
that you could use to, you know, tint or shade a light.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll just use this tape to tape a sock on the headlight. And I probably drove with socks taped on my headlights. Thank God.
way.
Thank God this is before camera phones because I would have been all over the internet. But yeah, probably 3 months.
Jeez Louise.
I knew when I walked out to a parking lot, I knew, okay, that's my car.
Oh,
Of course you did.
That
The one that
wasn't an
smelled like
accessory.
3-month socks.
Soccer socks are like 2 feet long.
Well, I got to tuck them in the grill.
Right.
And then just pulled so I kind of had an Adidas logo on the side too.
Yeah. Oh,
it was almost stylish.
Yeah, that is pretty stylish.
There were probably people that wanted to follow my trend, but
Yeah.
couldn't figure out how to.
the wet sock throughout the summer.
but I never got flashed again. It diffused the
Jeez,
light
so it actually
perfectly.
worked.
Yeah.
I bet Seamus is feeling better already.
Oh, yeah.
And then I sold the car to some guy who said he was shipping it overseas.
Come
left-
on.
Did you leave the socks on there?
No, that was not a strong selling point.
That guy's flashing everybody in Europe right
He
now.
shipped a 1998 Glass.
I think he knew.
It went to Russia.
I think he knew what I wanted to hear. Like I didn't want to hear I'm selling this for scrap metal.
Yeah.
Sure.
I want to hear it's going to lead a better life overseas.
It's going to a farm.
It's like it's like all of Cameron's dogs going to a farm up north.
Oh, man.
So Cam has a car story too.
Yeah, but I don't have any funny ones.
Oh,
So yours is.
I mean, I can tell something.
that's
okay.
Yeah, that's why you're here.
You know, as most of you know, I went to the best school in the country,
Yes.
Okay.
FSU.
Come on.
Go Knowles.
Come on.
So one weekend, this is in Tallahassee. I was driving back home for something. I don't remember. I think it was my birthday weekend.
Pizza party, probably.
Yeah, for my birthday.
Yeah.
And so I was driving home on I-75.
Oof.
Everything's going good. Just listen to music, you know.
What were you listening to?
Probably
Limp Bizkit?
music, but I don't remember what. Yeah, Limp Bizkit probably.
It was John Mayer.
It was
Probably.
definitely John Mayer.
It probably was. And so all of a sudden I hear clack, 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 super loud. I
Not
mean,
a good sound to hear.
incredibly loud.
Drive-by shooting.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Or a beaver, a full-grown beaver in the backseat. When they get rambunctious, they really start to
not
clack.
an immature beaver.
with their tail.
So, anyways, I hear this super loud noise. The thing was, I knew what it was instantly because it had happened before in a different car.
guy.
So the tread on my tire separated from the tire, and what was happening is that tread started lifting and hitting the tire
Wheel
well.
well.
Yeah,
On the
wheel well.
interstate.
On the interstate,
It's
I was going
terrifying.
75 miles an hour.
Not a good thing that you want your tire to do.
No.
It's not a good
No.
thing.
So I instantly lose control. Pretty much.
Oh,
I mean, I'm going towards like the left and into the median.
Is this slow-mo in your head now?
Honestly, it was.
know.
This is a weird part. So I started drifting into. I'm trying to slow down, but I started drifting into the median in the grass, and as soon as I hit it, my car flips.
Okay.
No
Wow.
way.
So
Anti-grass. Your car is anti-grass.
it
Hates
is.
grass.
It hates grass, and so it came up. I went upside down, hit the guardrail in the middle of the interstate median.
Oh, you were going to center median?
Yeah.
So you're driving the fast lane.
Yes, I was driving the fast lane.
Strike one.
But I hit that, pop back up.
Oof.
It probably all happened in like 3 seconds. It felt so long.
That you knew it was
but
happening. Like
I knew it was
you couldn't
happening,
stop
and I'm
it.
like, but your thoughts are okay. This is it.
Yeah, how do I get my
This is-
seatbelt on and
this
act
is
like
it.
I didn't do it on purpose?
So
Right.
I pop up. I landed upright, which was nice.
Nice.
And I had a suitcase in the back of the car. That was like on the other side of the road. There's glass everywhere.
Holy crap.
And,
Looters probably stopped and going through your suitcase.
Exactly. My underwear were everywhere. It was like the biggest adrenaline rush I've
bet.
ever had. It was super funny though.
So you took a nap there.
Yeah, funny
instantly.
story.
Sounds
right?
hilarious.
Hold on. Is this when you broke your other guitar's head? 'Cause I know you broke two
I think I
guitars.
did. Yeah.
Snapped it. Right?
I think we talked that same day.
I'm sure.
Yeah, because I remember after he mentioned like still being like your adrenaline still being super high like 3 hours
yeah.
later,
Yeah. Like all night, it kept going through my head, like just flashing what was happening.
and
but-
you never got all of your panties off the interstate.
No, never. No, they weren't on the interstate. Somebody stole them.
Of course they
Yeah,
did.
that was the one thing they
Supposedly
took.
they were like
They-
up in trees.
They
like
went
40
from the
feet
interstate
away.
to eBay like in like an hour. I had a 1989 Toyota Celica.
That was beautiful.
And we mentioned it a couple times on the show. One time when Josh super glued a Chihuahua dog.
Not confirmed. I mean, I
It
did.
was a Taco Bell.
I think it was confirmed.
stuffed animal to the hood of my car. I thought it was funny.
epoxied it.
Yeah,
I didn't glue it.
that's stronger than super glue. I thought it was funny. My dad didn't, and which is why he opposed the marriage.
He was against it until
glue of
I
the
paid
dog.
him his dowry.
Right.
I think it was all the barbecuing he was doing.
I think I mentioned it in the terrible first. I think I mentioned it on the terrible first date episode where we talked about the
Clack, clack, clack.
Yeah, my the steering went out and just I picked up this girl for the first time and she
Apparently,
could hear
it
me
was
coming.
just the tread on all your tires.
I
Like the
know,
wheel wells.
apparently, or a beaver in the back seat. One of the two.
Not yet.
But in this scenario, but in this scenario, we had actually we were going camping. It was a group of us guys, and we're going camping, and we had a friend named Tony who
Is this
worked.
the camping trip I went on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and we were. Tony worked at Publix, oddly enough, and he had
Baloney
said,
Tony.
He said, "Don't worry about food. I will bring sandwiches from Publix."
Well, because I had drinks.
Right.
Or non-alcoholic
Right.
drinks.
And so we get there, we set up camp, we're doing our stuff, and he pulls the sandwiches out, and we're all taking
gosh.
bites. No one has meat on their sandwich. It's all cheese, lettuce, mayonnaise.
This guy worked in the deli.
Right, and there's nothing. I mean, you're lucky if you got cheese. It's mostly condiments and lettuce and tomato. And so we all get
guy.
instantly upset with Tony, and Tony explains it by saying, "Hey, my boss was actually there, the deli manager, and so I couldn't give the meats, the fancy meats, the boar head.
That's all we wanted.
So I had to grab what I could grab." So fast forward a couple weeks, we load up in my Toyota Celica to get him back. To put this in perspective, there's only it seats 4 comfortably. It's a small car, and my back seat didn't have a back part. As it had bench seats,
Yep.
but you could see right into the trunk. There was no
make it a
back
hatch.
part of it.
Yeah.
What was there supposed to be a back?
I just
though?
took it out. I think we were
Okay.
doing like a fun project or something. I
Had
took
to
it
load
out.
some science fair project in there.
And there were 7 of us. So we had
we were cramped.
2 in the normal seat, 1 person straddling the front, and then 4 crammed in the back with no back comfort, right?
The math adds up.
Yeah.
Right. And we're driving to Tony's house with a ton of bologna and Vienna sausages in the front seat.
Show him what
Because-
meat looks like.
We're going to egg his house, but with bologna and Vienna sausages.
Like you do.
We're just going to sling meat at his house.
I was so pumped.
I don't know if it was just the sheer amount of like clown car happening with all the people in the, but we get pulled over almost instantly.
Oh, yeah.
We get pulled off the main road in our hometown, and the cop makes us all get out. We're all standing alongside
I
the
think he's
highway.
uncomfortable with that many heads.
that many people in the car.
That much meat too.
I just remember being terrified. He was like, "Driver, step out," and I was like,
geez.
"Holy
yeah.
crap!"
Yeah, he was on power trip.
Yeah, so we get out and we have to stand on the side of the highway and wait for the canine unit to get there because the cop thinks we're all doing drugs.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so Josh, he warns the canine officer, you might want to let the dog know there's a bunch of meat in the front seats.
I didn't want the dog to go like freaking nuts and just chow down on that meat, and then the handler go, must be drugs.
Must be
Oh,
meth.
yeah.
Lock him up.
And the cop was like like Josh said, power trip. He was like, "Oh, he's not going to confuse the meat with drugs." And we're like, "Well, we didn't know.
God, yeah, how would
we're
you-
just
how
giving
would
you
you
a
know
heads
that?
up, man."
Y'all just don't want to go to jail
Yeah,
we
we're
don't
like
want to go to
30.
for
prison.
Vienna sausages.
Well, funny enough, the youngest guy with us that night was 17, named Brian. His dad was a priest at the local Catholic church, and he's freaking crying. Brian's a goody-goody. The whole time he's saying to the officer, my dad is Father so-and-so. Please, will you call him
God,
right
he
now?
was shaking.
It was so
He thought he
bad.
had ruined his future, like because he was going to have this on his record. This kid.
Well, none of us got arrested, but the actual charge, what the ticket I got was for a busted taillight.
Yeah.
It wasn't even for like
They had to
seven of
get
us
you
crammed
somehow,
in there.
though.
They had to get us somehow. There's no drugs. I think honestly, the giant Walmart bag of bologna and Vienna sausages may have saved us.
Yeah. And the crazy story that we were going to throw meat at someone.
oh, so you did tell him.
well, at that point, you got to be honest.
We were standing outside
They
the car
can
for
see you.
45 minutes.
You were crying.
Yeah, I was. I
Dwayne
was
was
crying.
crying.
There
Yeah.
were two of the
Josh
guys were
was eating
shirtless,
Josh was speaking in tongues.
chowing down.
Yeah, so we did have to call another friend to come pick us up because they wouldn't let us leave all together in the same car.
Yeah.
Unsafe meat handling, they called it.
But yeah, that was another one of my Toyota Celica stories.
That was an insane night.
I hope Seamus feels a little better.
He should feel better.
He definitely should feel about
yeah.
that.
He didn't have socks in his car.
No.
He didn't almost die from getting flipped, and he didn't have a bunch of meat.
Hey, listen, Seamus. The next time you have a rough day, you didn't almost die, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get
bro.
over it, Seamus.
Cameron almost died.
Just
Yeah.
chill. Jeez. Stop writing us a letter.
The 50s, man. What a time to be alive.
Oh, man, what a time. Big cars,
That's right. Big old Corvettes.
big women.
No, sir. No, sir. Big technology.
No, no, there was
I
big
like
women.
the first option.
Yeah.
Okay, so the 50s were a very exciting time to grow up. It was a time of invention and pioneering new technologies. But it was an especially exciting time depending on where you grew up. And in our case,
I could see that.
it was Florida.
Yeah, it's a great place to
Amen.
live.
That's
Man,
right.
I loved it back then.
The perspective of our story comes from Harvey Raines, who was born December 14th, 1944 in Cocoa Beach, Florida.
Oh, 1944.
Nice.
That's right.
You got this one.
This is about the Doors.
If Harvey was still alive,
I think it's about the Fugees with Lauryn Hill,
Fugees.
right?
it is. Oh, you
44. I don't even have a guess. 80, 76.
Get him.
If
There
he
he
was still
goes.
alive, he'd be
He's on fire.
76 years old.
Might not be right.
Harvey became a teenager in the 50s. So, like most kids his age, he wanted to go to like music halls and dance or burger joints and get a shake with his friends. But Harvey was in Cocoa Beach, and Cocoa Beach had nothing cool.
What? At a beach?
Waves. Yeah. Beach.
Yeah,
It's
but
in
when
the
you're born
name.
and raised there, it's just water. You know what I mean?
No.
That's true.
In fact, Cocoa Beach barely had any people. In the 1950s, they had approximately 200 residents.
private
It's even better. Yeah.
Very small town vibe. So Harvey spent his days outdoors, playing in the front yard, riding bikes, doing normal but boring teenage stuff.
Well, all the cocoa you can eat, though, right?
Yeah.
Well, after
Tons
a
of
while.
hot cocoa.
After
too.
tons of hot cocoa
Cold
down in
cocoa.
Florida.
Yeah. In the evenings, he had a little entertainment in the form of a 12-inch black and white TV set, which he was allowed to watch for 1 hour after dinner.
Oh, because it'll bust your eyes open
If you sit too
Can't get
close,
too close,
If
yeah.
you sit too close, your eyes will be.
I saw Poltergeist.
My mom all told me that. But Harvey dreamt of excitement. He hated the fact that he was born in a small town where nothing was happening, but that was all remedied for him around his 14th birthday in 1958.
Get them.
Harvey and his friends were out in the front yard jumping homemade ramps with their bikes,
Okay.
and around the corner came a 1957 red Corvette Roadster.
There we go. Now we're talking.
Beautiful car.
Top was down, music's blaring.
Amen.
In the passenger seat, a beautiful blonde woman with shades on and her hair pulled up in a ponytail.
What are they shooting a commercial?
Nice.
In the driver's seat was a muscular guy with a military crew cut. He takes one look at Harvey and his friends. He winks at him, gives him a big thumbs up, and just drives on by.
I think this is a
There were
commercial.
so
or
many
something.
options
Okay.
of what could have happened.
Were there socks on the headlights?
Right. So
Something's
for
wrong
the
with the
small town
electrical.
kids, this fancy car comes around. These beautiful people are in it. They're like, wait, who are these guys?
Yeah.
You know what
hanging out
probably
in our
really
town?
happened? He probably flicked them off. But he wants to remember the story like it's a positive.
We're a PG podcast, so he gave him a thumbs up. So every single kid, almost at the exact same time, was like, who the heck was that?
Yeah.
Right? So, they did what kids do. They jump on their bikes and they follow the car.
Google it. Oh,
Yeah, right, exactly. They follow the car for miles, all the way until it turns into the
that's
parking.
like threatening.
I know.
Sorry. If you're being chased by kids on bikes,
Bike
Multiple
gang?
kids on bikes.
Yeah. That's a gang.
Just yelling
that's a
at-
gang.
Who are you?
I'm sorry. I gave you a thumbs up. I didn't flick you off.
Well, the car turns into the local hotel, owned by Mr. Landworth. And they see the guy and the girl get out, and they go into a room so they know that they're staying there.
Yeah.
Okay. Are they keeping their distance so they know they're not
Like
like
kind of
being
across the
tailed?
street with binoculars
Red
looking
team,
at
go.
him. Yeah. And so Harvey takes the lead on this. He goes straight to the motel office to ask Mr. Landworth who this rich kind of fancy couple is. Like, who are these people?
Hey, proprietor. Who are those guests?
They're not locals. And so this is the most excitement to happen to these kids,
Yeah.
probably ever. And so all the kids are in the office, and Mr. Landworth gladly tells them everything he knows. He goes,
What?
the guy's name is Gordon Cooper.
No privacy.
No, he's an outsider. He's like, this guy's name's Gordon Cooper.
He's cheating on his wife with this blonde.
Yeah, exactly. But he says, look, he's a nice fella, and that lady of his is a real looker. But let me tell you, he's a bit weird.
Oh, hell.
Okay.
Here we go.
So the kids are like,
He's
okay,
spreading
like,
the dirt.
how's he weird? Like, what does he do?
gossip
Right?
queen.
Yeah.
Well, he wears a size 9 shoe, and the other foot's size 13.
And he smells like coconuts.
so weird.
Yeah. No. So Mr. Landworth goes, look, the other day I caught him sitting on the edge of the pool next to a big cooler with a fishing pole in his hand.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
said to him, sir, you aren't fishing in my pool, are you? To which Gordon Cooper replied, well, not yet, as he dumped a cooler of live fish into the water.
Oh my gosh.
Is that allowed?
Well, there's not a sign that says no
That's
fishing.
true.
That's
No
true.
Probably is
diving.
now, though.
No skateboarding.
Yeah.
True.
If that wasn't weird enough, a few days after this, Mr. Landworth said that one night, after coming back to the motel office a bit late, he saw Gordon Cooper and a few other guys sitting in a motorboat that they had somehow pulled into the pool.
Wow, he is infatuated with this pool.
Yeah.
He's sitting in a motorboat
Oh,
in,
well,
a,
In the
yeah.
pool.
in a pool.
I mean,
Yes.
that seems like
How did that get there?
Drinking a beer, having a good time. So Harvey and the other kids ask him, why on earth are you letting him do all this? And
Yes.
Mr. Landworth says, well, the man's got very deep pockets. And let me tell you, he's been very generous. I don't know what he does for a living, but he keeps saying that he's a part of the Mercury 7.
Okay.
Okay.
He
okay.
invented
How much do you
Jinko
think
jeans.
it costs to let a hotel
Let me
let
just tour
you
your
dump
pool.
fish in there and put a boat in there?
At least 70, 80 bucks
At least,
A
yeah.
fish though, per fish.
per fish. Yeah.
Yeah,
So 300 bucks.
I'd
At
like to
least.
kill all these fish at the same time.
Chlorinated.
Can I
Do you
use
care
your
if I
pool?
fish with these? Yeah. So the reason why no one in town knew what the Mercury 7 were was because at this point in 1958, it was still a government secret. The Mercury 7 project was publicly announced by the federal government in April of the following year as the first human spaceflight program of the United States.
Oh wow.
I was thinking, I mean, he drove a Corvette, but Mercury was a type of car. Maybe the Mercury 7. I don't know.
Maybe he's like
I
some
don't
kind
know
of
what I was getting at.
driver. Well, the Mercury 7 were a group of 7 astronauts selected to man the Project Mercury, which would send humans into Earth's orbit and return them safely with the goal of doing it before the Soviet Union.
Okay.
Yeah. This was the first time.
Ever. And so,
Ever.
and as it turns out, Cocoa Beach is only a little over 10 miles away from Kennedy Space Center. And NASA wanted somewhere low key for the astronauts and the engineers to hang out and let loose to escape from the stresses of planning a space mission.
And they heard about old Landworth that'll let you do anything for a nickel.
Man,
they
he
would-
really will.
So they sent them down to this, 7 dudes down to a
Yeah.
town 10 miles away.
Yep.
It's only got 200 residents. Go do what you want.
Yeah.
We'll pay all the bills that, you rack up or whatever.
Amen.
So once the mission was made public, NASA sees no reason to hide it anymore. So instead of just the Mercury 7 staying in Cocoa,
geez.
NASA starts sending all of their engineers and scientists to live with their families in Cocoa Beach.
That sounds kind of fun.
So obviously the secret gets out, and Harvey and the rest of the town was made aware of what was happening because that same year, Cocoa Beach population grew by over 1,000%.
Wow.
You're going to start seeing a lot of Corvettes.
Yeah, no, seriously. The reason why the astronauts drove Corvettes is because car dealerships would give them $1 leases because they saw it as publicity.
Okay.
Astronauts were seen as like heroes.
Yeah,
It's all over the
yeah.
place. So they're all cruising through town in Corvettes. Locals started referring to their town as Whoom Town.
Say again.
Say it again.
WHOOMO, Whoom Town. It was
Whoom Town.
Whoom. It was a play on the phrase Boomtown, which
Okay.
was what a city was called when it experienced sudden boom of population
Yep.
or economic growth. They
Or
called
sonic
theirs,
boom.
They called theirs a Whoom Town because of the noise that the rockets made flying over Cocoa Beach.
What?
Nice.
Yeah.
Clever. Okay.
And
I don't
so-
think it's that clever.
With the bulk of the city's residents becoming employees of NASA, the city itself began to change. Hotels and motels are popping up all over,
Nice.
along with new restaurants, diners, movie theaters, and dance halls. The restaurants all had food named after the space program. So, for example, you'd have
Whoom
like,
burger.
yeah, the Whoom Burger, the Gemini sandwich, or the rocket fuel soup.
Gross.
Everything
try
was
that one.
becoming like, space themed. The motels were named the Satellite Motel, the Apollo Motel. Even Mr. Lansworth changed his motel name to the Starlight Inn.
Oh.
So everything in town's becoming space.
Earth is flat
oriented.
pancakes.
Right, there you go. So local entrepreneurs were eager to piggyback off of the excitement of the space program. The area became so popular that there were regular traffic jams in town.
Jeez.
So the days of Harvey and his friends riding up and down the street on bicycles,
Nope, they're getting
no
hit.
more. It's night and day, head-to-toe traffic. Television personalities started showing up to broadcast their programs live from Cocoa Beach, meaning that at any given time, if you walked into the local diner, you could run into Walter Cronkite or Ed Sullivan. That was like
Philbin, I
kind of the place to be, right? Popular Science magazine actually ran a story about this time in Cocoa's history, and they called Cocoa the last stop before space, basically meaning that's the
Clever.
kind of town
This
you
is
go
kind-
through.
Okay, that's clever.
Grab your womb burger before you
Right,
go to
exactly.
space.
In that piece, they interviewed a NASA engineer named Brian McNabb, who was the head of the operations at Cape Canaveral. And he said, "You should have seen it there in the early days. Those first few years were nothing short of amazing. Pool parties at every
God.
hotel."
I love that pool parties are the major source of entertainment.
He said, "People jumping in clothed, people jumping in without clothes." When he was asked,
You're
why-
not going to believe this. Publish this right now.
people
Pool
were
parties,
naked in the
like,
pools.
all over the place.
Well, the magazine asked him, like, why are NASA's employees so wild? And he responded with, when you go through months of stress and getting ready and preparing to put humans inside of a tiny metal barrel and sending them 6,000 miles away into outer space, you're entitled to a little fun.
Well,
And so
that's
I
probably
tend to
part of
agree
it.
with
I think it's like the massive stress of not only are you doing this and you want to keep them alive, because that's the point of the mission, but you're trying to do it before the Soviets.
Well, I think it's also being a big group of nerds and not have any jocks there to beat you up.
Sure.
Really helps.
And
Yeah,
now
but
these nerds are becoming superstars.
bingo.
Yeah. But aren't astronauts like a very good mix of athlete and nerd?
Yeah, well, they still have the humility of the nerd.
They can hold their breath for like 3 minutes.
Gordon
Man,
Gordon
monsters.
Cooper was a good-looking fella, muscular guy. Let me just tell you, his pecs were chiseled.
Okay, wow.
Jeez,
I didn't,
no
nobody
Vienna
asked.
sausage.
I got
there,
a poster
right?
of him in my bedroom. So basically, the Soviets ended up beating the Americans into orbit when they put the first human, Yuri Gagarin, into space in 1961.
Oh, yeah.
But the Americans followed suit, sending one of the Mercury 7, named Alan Shepard, into space that same year. And a few years later, the longest American space flight was made by none other than pool fisherman Gordon Cooper.
What?
Yeah. So the space race benefited nearly everyone in the small town of Cocoa Beach, but Harvey Raines believed that it benefited he and his friends the most because not only did they get the dance halls and the restaurants they dreamt about,
Okay.
but they spent their teenage years rubbing shoulders literally with the astronauts.
Wow.
That's cool.
Okay, that's kind of a lot
But did he
cooler.
become an astronaut?
Harvey actually went on to become a garbage man.
Okay, nice.
But that's what he was really
That's what he wanted.
striving for.
No, I think the cool thing about Cocoa is that when you think of it now, it is a super touristy town.
Oh, yeah.
and it's like, known for like its
Ron
beach.
John Surf Shop.
Ron John Surf Shop's first location was in Cocoa around that
they
same
own
time.
Cocoa.
That's
I'm
an
pretty
interesting
sure.
story.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
Ron John.
They came in 1961,
This guy.
which was literally right after this was happening.
Don't quiz him.
I'm telling you. The area
What about Pete's Sub Shop?
Pete's Sub Shop was 1967, but that's a whole other story. We won't get in there because of the whole perversion and everything. But
Oh God, I didn't think you knew about that.
you knew what happened to Pete. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Stinky Pete's what they call him.
Pastrami Pete.
It's been a great week. Hang out
Super
with
week.
us on Patreon if you get a chance. It's FMOFM Podcast. We've got bonus episodes there. If you are watching tonight, that's because you are on Patreon. Hello to all the live streamers. We love you guys. We appreciate you. Patreon keeps the show going.
And Whoom Burgers.
And Whoom Burgers.
and
If you
Patreon.
live in Cocoa and you have any interesting stories, send them to us for a
that would be
follow-up
nice.
next week.
Yeah.
Especially if you were there during this time. We want to hear more about that.
Cameron needs some stories for next week.
I do need some stories. Yeah.
Less cars, more spaceships.
Got it.
That's what Cameron said. And that goes out to, what's your buddy's name that wrote in? Shazam?
Shazam Delaquicious.
Okay, got him. Our
He's
social,
a good guy. He's just a good guy.
our social
I wasn't
media.
supposed to say his name.
That's okay.
Sorry.
We'll cut it
Shazam.
out. Our social media handles are FMOFM Podcast across every major platform. We love you guys
So much.
It's been a great week. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
See you next time.